So once again, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining another session of Azure Power Lunch. Um, and as you know, we record these calls and we place our recordings on our YouTube channel. So if you don't want to be recorded, you may want to drop off now. If you just give me thumbs up, if you can hear me fine and you can see my screen. Great, thank you. Okay, so just quickly, you know that we have regular updates with um, most of the Azure services, and this time we are going to talk about a couple of updates uh, with Azure App Service. One of those is kind of uh, a lot of time ask item web job support for app service for Linux. Okay, so let's talk about it. App service web jobs, they have been there pretty much from the day one for app service for Windows. What they are, they allow you to run a program or a script um, with your app service. You can run it either continuously or you can schedule it or you can trigger it manually. Okay. There is no extra cost. It's part of your app service, so you run it. And uh, one important thing to know is that it is available for Windows code for some time. It's in GA. So it's in GA, but they just made available for web jobs for Windows container and Linux container and Linux code. Okay, so that's a big deal. And one question that may come up, okay, yeah, web jobs are there, but there's functions when we should one versus the other. I mean, I think they have a lot of similarities. I mean, both are kind of can be um, event driven, like time event, something happens, you run the. But probably if you have some code and you are running it and you don't want to make many changes to it, I think web job is the way to go. But if you are going for a larger integration where you may have orchestration, you may have things like event driven in nature or HTTP calls and things like that, that's where you want to go with Azure Functions because they are truly provide you a kind of function as a service platform. That's the direction you may wanna head if you are planning to do a full-fledged microservices. But if it's like one-off and you kind of it's part of the service, you don't want to create a separate function, then probably web job is a good idea. Okay. Moving on, there are two types of web jobs. One is continuous and the other one is trigger. Continuous always runs. So basically, you're going to be running this web job, and this is like maybe it's pulling something from the storage account and moving something there's things like that, and it works in an endless loop. And just keep in mind, if you are looking at the deployed location, they will be in different location in actual app service side. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay. Um, with that, I think we are gonna start with a quick demo. So first of all, let's start with let's prep our service so it can run um, web job. So how we do that? Let's go into our um, app service. So I have, hopefully everybody can see my portal. Let me just sign in here as well. And this is my app service. Yes, that's the one I want to use. Okay, so Give it a second. It's a demo, so it's gonna take some time to open up. And just when we go into web jobs, I just want to show you some of the stuff that you may want to be aware of as you are kind of, creating and assigning um, kind of deploying code for the web jobs. Come on. Okay, so this is a app service that I have created, and let me go in there. Come on. And web jobs are shown here. Okay, let's go in there. It says web. Oh, there are two things that you need to do. Okay. First is you need to enable basic authentication for SCM. Okay. And the second, you need to enable remote storage. So let's do each of these things. First thing is go into configuration and turn this thing on, and I will show it to you here, SCM. Just turn this on and save. So this is the basic auth for SCM publishing. That's what you have to do. Another thing that you may want to do is always on. In most cases, if you are basic, standard, or premium service, always on is there anyways, but just want to give you a heads up, you need to turn it on if it is not on, if you are running web jobs. Okay, that's that. It's there. Now let's make the second change, and I will show it to you what is the second change here. And let me, will have to add a setting. So if we go into the environment variable, which used to be app configuration, we go in here and we need to add a new setting. So this basically makes the storage persistence. Once you do that, this app service storage will be persistent. By default, it falls. Let's apply it and confirm the changes. It's going to restart your app service. And now you have you have met both the conditions. Let's see if we can create web jobs now. Okay, now we can create web jobs. So what I'm going to do is I have a very small .NET program, and I am going to show it to you. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. Let me increase the font size a little bit. Okay, and okay. So this is a very small .NET application. This is the program.cs. I'm saying hello world from Azure PowerLunch. Okay, that's all there is to it. What I'm doing is I'm building this thing. And once I'm building, this is the debug. I have added this file. And by the way, this file is a uh, sh bash script file. And what I'm doing in that file is this is a standard command, the header, and then I'm running the console file. Okay. What you will have to do is you will have to deploy this, put it in a zip file. So I'm going to zip the DLL, this script, and important to remember this ends this runtime config.json. If you don't deploy it, it will not work. It will complain. So you need to deploy basically zip all the three files. Okay. So I have already zipped it up. As you can see here, this is a zip file that I have created. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to deploy this zip file into um, my application. Okay, so let's go in here and create a web job. I'm gonna call it WJAPL01, and you can name it anything, it doesn't matter. Okay. I think the key thing to keep in mind is the zip file, the console file. So once again, if you are running in Node.js, if you are running in Linux, you have to have a script file there. You can name it anything you want as long as it has an sh thing, and you can run any script, but just keep in mind it has to be, if you're running a .NET binary, you have to do .NET, and you have to run it on a .NET service. Okay, so this is the service that I have is a .NET app service. Okay, and I will show it to you in a second. And I am going to run it triggered. I'm going to do it manual. Okay, so create the web job. When you first time create the web job, what I have noticed, it takes a few minutes before it shows up here. Okay, so let's refresh it. And you will see it showing up here. It takes a few minutes before you see it in your portal. And I was like worried, what's going on? Did it add it or did I miss something? It seems like the first time it maybe can loading some stuff. So that's where you have to do a few refreshes and then this web job will show up here in the list of. So you see, it's ready, it's type triggered, it's manual. And the beautiful thing is it has logs. Okay. But if you click on logs, it will not show you the logs if you just haven't never triggered this app. Okay, so let's trigger it. And I'm gonna, since it's manual, I'm gonna run it. And here it is, running the web job. And oh, by the way, sometime, you will see pending status. Sometime the status doesn't refresh very fast. So you will see a pending status here. So don't be alarmed. Give it a second and the status will come up. So in this one, I'm not doing anything special. So let's say what the logs are saying. So basically, very simple. I'm just printing a message. This is the message. Hello from Azure Powerland. I mean, it's not an earth-shattering demo. I mean, the point is you have a .NET code, .NET Core code. You are running in an application, and I want to show it to you. This is the configuration of the application just to make sure everybody is on the same page. This is .NET 8 LTS. I am running a .NET code from here. Okay. So that's any questions. And by the way, just keep in mind, you can run some other, I mean, this a bash file. So you can run Linux, typical Linux bash file. You can have some other code there. You may be loading some stuff. You may be looping and so there can be other stuff there in the bash file. You may have multiple executables over there. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You can do all of that. You just follow this. You have to just follow this pattern. Okay, so let's go to a little more kind of I won't say complex, but little more uh, example which has little more information. Okay, so I have this one. This one is what it is doing. It is using the managed identity of the service. So look at here. Hopefully I can. Okay. So I am using the managed identity of the service. I'm creating a container client, and then I'm creating blob and writing to a storage account. And in that storage account, I have given the managed identity of the app service access, blob contributor access. Okay, so simple. I mean, this is once again. So what is the point of all this? The point of all this is your web jobs, if you are running, as you are running those in the app service, are still abiding by the managed identity of the app service. Same thing. So if just like you are running a code in the app service as a part of app service, let's say it's a web app and you are calling some storage account, same thing. If you are running a web job, same thing. It will abide by the identity of the app service. So managed identity. So let me show you that app and then we will go from there. So here we go. I am going to go in here. There are no web jobs. So this is the app service that I'm talking about. And let's take a look at a few things. This is the identity. So it has identity turned on. And where is the storage account? Let me go to the storage account. Give me 1 second. Um, this is the resource group. And where is the storage account? So this is the storage account. And if we look at its um, identity and access control, I have role assignments. You should see a storage blob data contributor. Let's keep going down. And this is the storage blob data. And as you can see, this is the service. So we have given that access to it. So what we are going to do is now we are going to add a web job. So I'm going to go in here, add a web job. Name is store job 01. And oh, just want to mention one thing here. Let's go in here and I can show it to you. So in the zip file, you will have to put all the binaries, okay? And the JSON file, the config.json file, and of course the script file. Same script file, there is no change here. I can open it in the with Notepad and move. Yeah, so basically, there is no difference. Let me just move this file here. As you can see here, this is the file. Same thing. I'm just running a console, the DLL. That's all there is to it. So what we are going to do is we are going to upload this file, and this time we are going to run it continuously. Okay, and we are going to say create web job. Okay, and let's refresh it. And once again, it will take its sweet time to show up. So you may have to refresh a few times, and we will take it to ask any questions that you may have. Yes, here it is, pending restart. Okay, so let's take a look at the logs. So basically what it is doing, it is writing file each time. And once it is done, it will, I mean, if your process is not running for long, what it's going to do is once process end, it will wait and then rerun it in 60 seconds, wait and rerun it in 60 seconds, wait and rerun it in 60 seconds. So that's it will be doing. And let's go into the storage account and we can look at the blobs. Where are the data storage? Containers. This is the name of the container. I can go in here and let's see. This is the one, as you can see here, 111959. It has been created. And let's see. I'm pretty sure there is another one. So there is another one as well, and that is at 1120. So you see, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be writing that. So you get the idea that that you can run it continuously, or you can run it um, through trigger, manual trigger, or time trigger. Time trigger just follow the cron protocol. You have to define the time in that manner, and that's how you do it. But the point is, now you can run it, and you don't have to. I mean, the example that they have is of Python. Yes, I think many people will be using Python, but you can run .NET as well. You just have to the script to call it. That's all there is to it. Once you do it, you should be able to run that. Any questions, folks? So if there are no other questions, let's go to one other thing that I want to discuss, which is
Uh,
the,
Naveed,
you go ahead. Yes, please.
so I just want to mention one important thing over here as well for web jobs. Remember that they take from CPU time and memory from that app service plan. So don't just think it's all for free. It's like, okay, you can use it. If you have another website in the same service plan, it will share that CPU time and memory as well. So remember that because some people think, oh, I can put as many web jobs as I want and then, oh, why my other website on the same server is not working? Yeah, or it's slow. It's because of that. So watch it
No,
as
that's a
well.
very good point. Actually, yes. I mean, if you are running it and it's very heavy, um, you know,
Yeah,
um, and so yes, that will takes time from your processing and that can impact your application. So yes, I mean, I say
yeah,
free in terms of there is no extra cost of it in the money, but yes, you are paying, you're giving it a
yes.
slice. So yes, you just have to keep in mind. Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
And Marco, your question is possible look and check in the matrix the number of execution and status of trigger executions? That's a good one. Yes, I think there is a matrix for web job executions, so you can see there where how many web job executions happen and how many trigger. So yes, you can check that
Okay,
as far as I
thank
know.
you.
So,
Plus,
yeah.
I think Navid, if they have app insights, also they can also get
Yes,
more stuff over there as well.
absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. App Insights. I mean, yeah, that's the way to go. Exactly. Okay, folks. When the latest of the app service premium plan is PV3, which has kind of the better underlying hardware, and you can read much more about it. What I want to mention it that they have brought down price of PV3 significantly, so you can run it approximately the same as you are running the older version. So if you are running the older versions, like PV2, you may want to jump on to this one. And this is the pay-as-you-go price. And as you can see, the price with, you know, reserve plan and savings plan is much more improved. So just want to bring it up. I mean, this is for where you want to dip your toes, but you don't want to use the developer version because you need the premium features. So that's where you want to take a look at this. You want to take advantage of it and see if app service kind of meets your requirements and start uh, taking advantage of it. So that's how. Uh, so that's I just want to bring it up. This just arrived, so this is basically you can. I mean, if the cost is comparable to the same SKUs with the older version like PV2. So that's what I want to bring in. And just keep in mind, the cost reduction is only in P0, V3. That's the area that is highlighted. Okay. And once again, as I said, this is to if you want to evaluate it, but you are not ready, but you don't want to test it in the developer version because, or the basic version because you want to use the premium feature, it gives you an opportunity to do that. Any questions, folks?
Also, can you, Navid, explain what is the saving plan and the reserved instances? Because also there's
Yeah, so
a huge discounts there.
absolutely. So saving plans is where you can reserve, sorry. So the saving plan is where you can say that I will be using that many scores, okay, of certain service. And the good thing is the way you divide, slice and dice, um, it doesn't matter. So maybe you are using, mix and match like 2 cores or 4 cores. That will not matter. And you make a commitment. Just keep in mind you will be paying. I mean that will be when you make the commitment, you buy that in upfront, and I don't think if and if you don't use it, then basically it's a, use it or lose it kind of thing. But it gives you great saving. I think it is very important to note that in a scenario where you think that you're going to be running an application using certain set of resources for 1 year or 3 year, you definitely want to go with a savings plan. This is not for your dev tests or workloads where you're not sure about and where you're still evaluating. But if you have a workload that is in production, stable, you want to run it for 1 to 3 years, you definitely want to look at the savings plan or reserved instances. As far as I know, the difference between reserved instances and savings plan is in saving plans, you cannot change the SKU. Oh, sorry, reserved instance, you cannot change the SKU. It's a SKU, region, and a number how many you bought it. In regards to savings plan, you can mix and match the SKU. I may have to double check on it, but I
You're
think that's
correct. You're
yeah,
correct, Naveed. Yeah, and that's the difference between them.
yeah.
It's perfect.
So yeah, so that I mean, I think there is no reason for a production workload that you're running in Azure that you plan to keep it and that you don't take advantage of the savings plan or reserved instance plan.
That's actually why the savings plan came up, because we used to have
Yeah.
reserve plan, and then customers after 1 year, hey, can we please change it?
Yeah,
It's like, and then we came up with the savings plan.
absolutely, absolutely. And as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, Walid, I think the moving forward savings plan is the direction they're heading, right?
Actually, both. We still gonna have both, because the deep
Both. Okay.
savings, because some customers really know what they want and they want to utilize the highest deep savings. Especially with big SKUs that they pay for. So
Okay. That's
they
good to
will,
know.
yeah,
Good to know.
yeah.
Good to know. Okay. Folks, so we have 1 more minute. Any other questions? Okay. So thank you very much for joining and hope to see everybody next week for another session of Azure Power Lunch and hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day and great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naveed.
Thank you, Navi.